like you're doing it like every day of your life, you're really living that positivity, and it lifts up me and so many people. And that's why I just recommend everybody reach out to you, because we can all use that positivity lens. It's like putting on the sunglasses of positivity and seeing life through that. So, I mean, I just feel like, what allows you to do that? I mean, I know you follow your intuition and then you're positive. It's kind of like a two-step process, right? And like you believe,
Yeah. And the best thing is, I think, and that's why I can help work, like understand other people, is that I haven't always been positive. It's not like I was always positive, and so that's my only perspective on life. I've been very hard on myself in the past. I was incredibly hard on myself in middle school, high school, even in college. And it's been a process of learning how to give myself grace and forgive myself and keep positive.
Right.
And it's a process of rewiring your brain too, because what you do, you continue to do. So if you have negative thoughts, you continue to have those negative thoughts. And it takes time to develop that awareness when you're having a negative thought and just stop and look at it. My favorite just saying that I have is, what's the best thing that could happen to me from this situation? Or maybe whatever happened was the best thing that happened to me.
Right.
There could have been worse things. Maybe it felt awful, but I just assumed there could have been worse things. And I just assumed that the universe gave me the best possible option. It happened for me. Whatever happened was my lesson. Even if it seemed negative, like don't give it a negative don't give it a negative spin. It happened. Okay, what's the positive you can pull from that? So I guess I've just made it a habit, and habits are so powerful because it's what you resort to when you're not thinking, to just go to the positive perspective on it. And I fall out of that too. With everything that's been going on the last few months, I had a couple days where I was just like super upset. And I was like, I just need to stop and break this trend and just meditate, ground, and see if I'm feeling better, and just like do something for me to get back to that positive spin. Too much time on social media doesn't help. Going out into nature does. So finding what is it that's sort of triggering some of those negative habits or just negative emotions, and then working towards the positive ones and finding what helps bring you back to that. So it is a process, but once you created a habit, again, listening to your intuition, finding the positive in everything, it just makes it so much easier and fun. And then life just flows and you're like, how did this all just come together? But you just don't question it because you know it's right.
Yeah, and here's one of the things that I feel guided to share about prosperity and your ability to bring in more income. And I do my very best to practice this as well, is like giving from a place of generosity. Like I know you and I, when we give to other people or each other, there's no strings attached. It's like there's always more and you give. And so from that free place, it circulates. There's a giving and receiving that the universe takes care of you. So for anybody listening, it's like, it's okay to give. It's okay to receive. It's okay to let go. But it's like coupled with intuition, positive thinking, and that sense of like abundance, which we all have, and giving almost from that place of freedom. I feel like that's one of the things I love about you is when we do projects, it's like, okay, how can we reach 1 million people? Like, how can we do more, right? And it's like, how can we give more? Like, we're not so much like worried about what we get. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just kind of comes because we're like, well, we're in service, And that place of alignment in the heart is, I feel, where the greatest prosperity flows. So I don't know if you want to share on that, but that's just one of the gifts I've had in our friendship, is like being able to align with somebody on that, So if you want to share kind of how that works for you and inspire us.
Yeah, and it's so true. And I sort of realized that recently, is I love working with clients or like with you on projects where I'm not concerned about, oh, there's a limit to how much I can give. I'm like, I want you to have my full attention. I want to be able to work with you fully and just dig down into this problem and not be, oh, am I like spending too much time on this? Is this being valued? I just know that the people I work with value what I do, but then I get to give my full and create the changes in their lives they're looking for. Or I know that, we have a great relationship where you help me with my concerns that come up. And then I'm like, it's just that outside perspective. It's getting outside of yourself
Yeah.
Because we know so much of it too. We're intuitive. We know so much, but that outside perspective helps us get out of our head and back into our body and our gut and our heart.
Totally. By the way, she coaches me on my process. She does the intuitive success coaching on me. I go to her. So that's why I'm recommending her, because she's phenomenal. And she's so skilled, because I mean, I have serious blocks that I've had to overcome because, the unconscious mind holds these patterns, right? So her spirit and her intuition says, for example, like Alyssa did, oh, I want to meet that person. I know I need to work with her. Okay, go. Now, when we're moving forward in life, oftentimes, myself included, it's like I get a block. Oh, can I really do that? Right? So there's a thought that's connected with an emotion that's negative, and we kind of freeze, right? Our mind's like, oh my goodness, I was taught that I actually couldn't do that. So who am I to follow this intuitive inspiration, which is the all-knowing wisdom, by the way, of the soul that's infinite, and trust that? And so I go to her with that. I'm like, hey, listen, I got a block from way back when in my childhood where I had trauma. Can you help me undo this? And so we use the intuitive success process to go release that and clear it. And she is so ridiculously skilled. Like, I'll just be like blown away, So that's why I'm like inviting her, like, hey, Alyssa, like, you got to do this with more people, because when you clear that block, guess what? The intuitive action happens. You meet that person, you take that step, you have the courage to live your dreams, and then you're living them. And I was running into, literally running, because I run all the time, and some clients who have also become friends. You guys all become my friends. And one of them said, it's her husband, and she was just like, go for it. Like, keep expanding. That's who you are. And I said, yeah, it's so funny that I've had a tagline, the courage to live your dreams. Like, who would have thought it takes courage to live your dreams? But it really does, because as you step into the next level, you're faced with your fears. And with love, you can face them, do a process, heal them, release them, and move to the next level. Right? So, there's a difference between having a block and also having an intuition not to go down a certain way, right? So that's the intuitive discernment, right? Do I go this way or that way? Like Alyssa said, it feels right. My experience is it's a knowing. Alyssa, do you want to share a little bit more about intuitive discernment as far as making decisions?
Yeah, and it's actually interesting because I've started adding that back to my morning routine, is just checking in with my body. And there's the intuitive knowings that you get throughout the day where you're just like, oh, I should do that. But I've been more, intention is, I guess, my focus this year is being more intentional in what I do. And so part of my morning routine is just checking in with my body, doing a yes, no, just checking out, oh, how are my beliefs? Is this my belief? Like, this morning I was working on feelings. Do I know what it feels like to live in joy? Do I really know what that is? And yes, I did. But there were some other feelings that it was like, oh, do I know what it feels like to have the creator tell me this is what's going on with someone else? And I was like, oh, I don't. So I was going through that process and I downloaded those beliefs and then tested again. And I had those beliefs again. So it's always a process of layering. No matter how much work you're doing, there's always more that you can find. And so I found just checking in if I'm about to make a big decision. Does this feel good? Not. Oh, it doesn't? Should I wait? Or is it because I'm not in the right headspace right now? So it's a lot of checking in as well. And just like not letting it interrupt your day, but if you feel like there's an important decision, just check that your body knows. Check in that your intuition is telling you if this is a good idea or not. Like, rather than getting caught in your head trying to make a decision, just check in with your body. If your body says yes, do it. If your body says no, don't do it.
I freaking love you. I mean, it's just so simple, but so true. Like I said, it's like constantly reminding me like what I teach, but to practice it. Like, my experience was our body is like our tuning fork. Like, if you think about how many cells we have in our body, it's constantly picking up information. So if we feel our body, it's like we're the channel of the universe, right? And when we're centered in our hearts and we drop into our gut, then it's like it is a compass forward or back, right? It's just kind of like, body, show us and let's move in that direction. And so it really is that simple. And it's like my mom always says, she's like, you're embodied, like you have form for a reason, right? So like to be in your body and fully experience like all of the joy and the guidance of your intuition through your body. Like, It's so beautiful. I'm so glad you reminded us of that, Liz.
Well, and the other thing is, remember to love your body too. It's so easy for us to be hard on our bodies. And one, your body keeps you alive. It's what lets you live this experience. So why are we always beating up on our bodies when we should be loving them? Because when you treat anything with love, it flourishes. When you treat it with hate or dislike or any of those negative emotions, it doesn't flourish. So why are we doing that to ourselves and our bodies? So almost, I don't know, respect your body because it gives you things, but it's almost like a vessel. So it's outside of you. Your soul is so much bigger. It's your container for now, but appreciate how you get up in the morning and you can just go for a run or you go for a walk or go for a workout or even just those little things that we take for granted. That's another piece. It's just having gratitude, and that keeps you in positivity as well.
Wow. I just want to listen to you. I'm just so enjoying this. Anything else?
I could go off on so many different topics. Well, you're talking about fear and everything, your future self, who you're becoming is outside of your comfort zone for who you are now, or you'd already be there. So that's another thing, is to know if you're going outside your comfort zone, you're growing. There's a difference between something feeling wrong and fear, or fear from, oh, I've never done this before. This might be a little bit scary because I don't know. Pretty much the way your body works is it's trying to keep you alive. The part of your brain that has fear is trying to keep you alive. It's like, oh, you've never done that before. We don't know if you'll survive that, so don't do it. And that was from caveman times when, everything you did probably could kill you. But now it's not really to that same level, but we still have that fear. So it's sort of, when you have fear, look at it and be like, is it because this is something new? I'm afraid of what other people are going to think. I'm afraid I might fail. I'm afraid I might succeed. So exploring that fear and almost embracing it with love to see what comes up for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that, because I was going to say, can you dive deeper into that, of like, is this my fear or is this my intuition guiding me, and what's the difference?
Yeah. And part of the fear of like your comfort zone or fear of something new, it's more in your head. It's your brain telling you, oh, don't do that. Whereas when it's your body, and sometimes your head will like affect the rest of your body, so you'll start to feel it. People get anxiety or panic attacks. But when it comes from your body first, then it's like, okay, is that my intuition? But intuition, I don't know that intuition really does fear. Intuition will have a no, but it doesn't really have a fear.
Oh my God, you're so right. So I remember this was years ago, Liz, like I was driving with my mom. God, it had to have been like 7 or 8 years ago. We're driving to Portland, and in the middle of the road, we're going at least 60 miles an hour. There's a full-on tire like right in front of us. And I see it. And intuitively, I instantly hold the steering wheel, no fear in me at all. And I literally just moved it like this, and we were completely safe. And in that moment, I was like, intuition is not fear. It's an innate knowing. I did exactly what I needed to do to keep us safe, but I felt no fear. Had I looked at it with my mind and freaked out and been like, oh my goodness, there's a tire in the road, da, da, da. Like exactly what you said, total head. But I was so in my heart, which I think we can go into after this, because I'm pretty sure if we're fully in our heart, we're not going to have fear. But in the next little phase here, because I was just feeling that as you were talking. So back to the knowingness, right? There is no fear in intuition. Like when I left, when I was 19, I actually didn't have fear, like when I left college and started the business, it's like, nope, this is just what I want to do. Dean probably thought I was crazy at the school. I didn't really care. I was like, it's just a knowing. Yeah, you actually don't really care what people think. You have a really strong sense of knowing within, which actually builds a confidence that's like unbreakable, because it's not like a fake confidence. It's a knowingness, right? And people feel it in your presence. And it's because you're connected to your soul.
And it's just, this is just the truth. Like there's no room for fear. This is the truth. This is this is the path to move forward. And fear comes in with the brain and the mind.
And we all need each other. So like, really, like I go through this with all of you. Like I feel my fears and like I want to cry. And so this is why Alyssa and I do projects together, because I love community. So tag your calendar in October. We're doing another Universal Language of Love project for us to raise money for the kids in Ecuador. So we have 2 orphanages down there we're working with, one of which very closely connected to. And we're taking a lot of the profits and just giving directly to them. So stay tuned, you guys, because a lot of that reasoning for October, the Universal Language of Love, is community. Like, I need you. I'm glad you guys are part of it. Like, I love community. I love giving back, and also to support Alyssa and this amazing project. Like, and myself, because I love you guys. So it's just like, know that's coming in October. I think it's the first Monday at 5 p.m. Pacific. And we can confirm that with you. But anyways, that just came through. Can you take it from here, Liz?
Yeah, no, I'm excited. We've been talking about this, and it's every Monday at 5 p.m. for October for an hour. We're going to be doing training and education and supporting it. It's all to help you, but also to raise awareness for what we're doing in Ecuador and plan to give back, because we got an email the other day of the things that they're needing for their orphanage too. And so being able to take immediate action now will be awesome.
Totally. They're so cute too. I'm like in love. I already want to adopt one.
Yeah.
Anyways, all right. So the other thing, Liz, was the heart. So when you talked about getting out of the head and being in the heart, like you touched me, it was like, okay, there is something here that when we're really out of our head and we're fully in our heart, it's almost like we're fully in our body a little bit. Can you speak more on that? There's something about that I felt like really taking my own awareness outside of my head, feeling it in my heart, and then I could almost step into my body. So is there any way you could guide us through a process or something? Maybe it's just that, but to talk more about because we really staying in the heart, because it's so easy, when we get triggered or upset about something, just to spin in the head.
And again, I'm speaking this from experience because I had a hand analysis done a couple of years ago, and my wisdom, or my the school that I was in, when it was out of balance, I would be too much in my head, and I'd either spend too long thinking or not enough time thinking. And I was definitely usually in the side of spending way too much thinking, collecting more information. So I've been there and I know that, and the fear of just taking action. And so my process, and that's how I it's from experience too. I've just sort of intuitively learned it, or through trainings, working with you. And so it's making space in your head and just quieting. So biggest thing, we'll walk through this, is, we'll just walk through it. So sit in your chair, like put your feet on the ground, feel nice and balanced, just stable, sort of like your feet are connecting to the earth. So the biggest thing you can do is always ground to the earth. So just close your eyes and just feel your energy and feel like you're creating roots out from your feet. Just that stability, connecting to Mother Earth, connecting to nature, just getting that grounded feeling. And then from there, you're actually going to start feeling the energy coming up. I'm seeing it as like a yellowish pink color, actually. Sort of like yellowish pink coming up from the earth and just flowing through your body and just sort of waking up your senses. And then, so the heart chakra is green. So if you're getting a sense of green, otherwise use that as well. But it's just sort of using the energy from the earth and just flowing through your body. And then when you feel that connection and alignment, all the way up your core, just feel the energy gathering around your heart. like creating this ball of energy right in front of your heart. And as it's growing and collecting and gathering, and then it's just going to rise up above your head. And then what you'll actually feel is that pillar of golden white light coming down from the creator of all that is, from source, just that alignment. So you've got the grounding into the earth and the alignment to source. And then this is where I like to sit for, well, we won't do it today, but for 5 or 10 minutes and just breathe. Just focus on your breath. And feel in your heart space. See what comes up that brings you joy, brings you happiness, and makes your heart light. And now any of those visions you will wrap up in that green light, in that heart chakra light. And this is actually what I do to raise my vibration every morning. It's just think of all the things I'm excited about. What's happening in my life that I'm working towards? Maybe you're buying a new house. Maybe you're starting a new job or a new business. Maybe your business is growing. Maybe your kids are doing something exciting this weekend. Just all these little things, whether it's this weekend, 5 years out, 10 years out, things that you're working towards. And just get excited about those and feel the energy, visualize it as if it's happening. And so sometimes I just sit and do this, and sometimes I set myself a timer so I don't have to pay attention to time, and I'll do like 10 or 15 minutes. And then when we're done, what you do is you feel your energy go back down to earth and ground. And just feel that energy opening up all your chakras. First chakra, red, all of energy there. And your second chakra, an orange. Third chakra. And so again, I go through all the chakras, so yellow, and then sort of rotating it counterclockwise or clockwise, depending on what it needs to be balanced. You're using the energy of both source light and earth and just bringing vibrancy into them. Then your heart, fourth chakra. Then your fifth chakra, your throat, in light blue. And your sixth chakra, your third eye, and see indigo. And then your crown chakra, which can be like a white or like a purple light. And then just sort of let the energy flow away and come back into your body. And just feel the energy you feel now. And again, I recommend doing this for like 10, 15 minutes. But that's just a little taste of like how I start it and then how I end it.
It's so cool, Liz. Like, I have Oneness Talk Radio, all the speakers going on my computer right now as we're talking. And right as I opened my eyes, I saw the words tune-up hour. And I feel like that's what you just did for us. It's like a psychic intuitive tune-up. Like, ground, align the chakras, which by the way are like vortexes of energy inside your body that represent physical, mental, emotional, spiritual connection to all that is. So when she guides you through that process, you're aligning all of those aspects of you. So cool, yeah?
Yeah. And the other cool thing is that you can do it yourself. And when clients or when people are having trouble with that, like seeing that too, I can give them that feeling of what it feels like so that they can then create it themselves from there on.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love that. I know. Sorry,
I'm the vehicle giving it to them. Source is giving it to them, but I'm the vehicle helping them find it and create it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's already there. You're just helping them access it.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I love it. How can people, start to work with you and book their intro sessions and the work with you?
Yeah. So definitely, I love I'm big on getting to know someone first so that we can connect and really just hear what's going on in your life. And so that I can then see, okay, this is the plan moving forward to get you where you want to go. So really, first step is really a conversation. It's a free and intuitive introductory session, or like you can call it virtual coffee. And it's really just, are we in alignment? And I find that the universe will bring the people that I'm in alignment with, but I want them to feel like it's the right process too. And so it's a conversation, and then it's like, oh, well, this is what we're going to do.
Mhm.
And these are the steps. And that's what's so awesome, because it's just, then we can move forward.
Mhm.
I also have a workbook on my website for those who maybe want to, sometimes people will want to do a little bit first to feel prepared that they can work with me. So there's a free guide on my website you can download too. But really, I love the intro intuitive session, because it's just, we get to chat, we get to learn about your dreams. I like to call it dream casting,
That's
and
awesome.
just create that dream space. And then from there, we can create the plan to get there and what you need to do to reach those goals.
It's awesome. So you guys can go to alyssawilliamson.com. It's ALYSSA. Williamson is WILLIAMSON, correct? .com? Okay.
Yeah.
AlyssaWilliamson.com. And she has a little button there to do the intro session. She has the download that she's talking about, but I just so recommend her. Like, there's nobody I could recommend more, honestly. So just to have that time with her and decide, she will guide you. Like I said, she's so generous and so giving and skilled beyond. So just enjoy it, and the email I sent out was like, give yourself this gift. And as you do, you give to the world, So I just feel like so blessed to have you here, Alyssa. And I feel, there's anything else you want to share about the steps on your journey of like the manifestation of like living your dreams? Like, really, you own your own house, you have an amazing romantic partnership, you are rocking your business, making lots of money from love and integrity. Like, how, sister? How? Like, enlighten us.
And that actually, 2020 has been an amazing year for me. I know that with everything else going on in the world, there's been a lot of fear and stress, but for me, it's been like perfect. January, I took a trip and I was in New York because I'd never been to New York. And I was like, it was a work trip, but I added a couple days to go to New York. And now who knows, the next time we'll be able to go to New York. But granted, I went in winter, but it was for me, it was like a highlight. Let's explore the city so I can see where I want to go when I come back with someone.
Mm.
And it was just amazing. It was just very freeing to walk around the city all day. I had a friend there, so I was able to hang out with her for a little while when her kids were in school. And then in February, end of February, I went to New Zealand and just had this an amazing, like, everything just flowed. I was in New Zealand and everyone was like, aren't you coming home? Everything's going crazy. The world's going to end. And I was like, no, my trip just feels like everything just feels, I was like, do I want to go back? Everyone sounds like the world is going to end. And I was like in New Zealand, and I had my perfect trip. I hadn't been back in 6 years. I went to college there. My family's there, my extended family. And I just had this plan. I was going to just catch up with everyone, do all these things that I'd never done in New Zealand before. And every day I went for a hike, or I went to the beach. Those are my two. That was my goal, is either go to the beach or go to the hike, because it's a smaller country. So I made a way to pretty much go to the beach almost every single day for the first 2 weeks. And it was just perfect. I just knew like everything was going to be fine. My flight was the last flight out of New Zealand. It was my original planned flight that I booked. So I didn't have to change anything. I got in
Wow.
New Zealand on time.
Wow.
And then I came back and had my best month ever in my business.
Yeah.
And that's just an example of, that's just how it flows. But I've also had to work on things to get here too.
Yeah. And if I can just kind of highlight what you did, back to what you shared in the beginning of the show, is you followed your joy. So for you love to travel, you love to experience culture like me. And so as you followed your joy, you opened, your energy field opened, your heart opened. And so I think that created more flow. So, for everybody listening, it's like, what brings you joy? Let your heart open so you can receive. and then the greater flow can come to you. You know?
And I sort of create that, like the way I work is I'm a little bit art and a little bit science. So let it happen, intuition, but also have habits and systems. And so one of my big goals in life is to be able to travel 3 months throughout the year. And that can be integrated in different ways. And one of my reasoning is because I'm in my joy and I'm most connected with my intuition when I travel. And I'm like, I need that as much as possible to create my dream life. And so I know that I make it a priority. And so all of my actions follow that too. So I focus on what I want so that I can create that too.
Yeah, I love that. So like, as you know, I've been leading retreats in international countries for a while, and we have ours coming up in Ecuador in March. I think it's the 12th through the 19th, right, Liz? Of 2021. So, and my point in bringing that up is, you know, when me and students, I don't know if I'm saying that right, we land our feet on other countries. It's like, whoa, here we are. Okay, let's flow. Like it's almost like your intuition gets heightened because you really need it. You know, you're really in the moment of, okay, go here, do this. I mean, and the fun people you get to meet, you know? And I mean, I still remember when we went to Bali, I had pre-connected with one orphanage online. And then once I got there, I was in a store, some random like clothing shop where they were selling jewelry. And that jewelry they were selling in that store, a portion of that proceeds was going to another orphanage. So as I got there and we got there, following our intuitions to that store, got us connected to an orphanage that we were even more connected to than the original one. So it's like in the moment of just landing feet on the ground, wherever you are, especially when you're traveling, but in day-to-day life, it's like, boom, go here, here, here. You know what I'm saying? It's like just this constant inner compass guiding you. So it's just really cool. And like I said, I feel like it really heightens your intuition to put yourselves in situations where you're traveling and you're expanding and opening to new.
Yeah. And just to go back to, because I know you mentioned relationships, and relationships can be tricky and interesting because it's two people involved. But what I like, I'm the guy I'm with is so amazing now, and it's so worth all of the experiences I had to get here. But it's really when you love yourself first. And I had that a couple of years back. I had a quarter life crisis and I like bought myself my Mustang, which I love, and was like, again, my intuition, perfect thing to do. It seemed crazy at the time, but bought myself my Mustang and I love that car, but I was taking myself out on dates, going on hikes by myself or going for a walk, or I don't know that I really went to a movie or anything, but if I'd wanted to, I would have gone to a movie by myself. So showing that love you want in a relationship to yourself first. Because as you said, I loved myself so much that sometimes I let other people, like my partner, get away with things because I loved myself so much that I didn't need it from them. And eventually I got the partner that loves me as much as I love me. And so it's not perfect, but you also know too, I thought I had a great relationship, but there kept being these doubts that were coming up. And I was like, I just don't feel connected. And eventually that did end, but then I got even better relationship that had the good things from that I saw, plus new good things. And so I guess what it is love yourself. Show yourself that love that you want to have in a relationship. And either the person, if you don't have it currently, the person will either step up or they'll step out. And I'm not saying like do what's best for you, but you deserve to be fully and truly loved.
I love that. So well said. And wondering if I can share a little bit from what you shared. Is it okay to just share a little bit about your previous? I feel like it's okay. I remember you telling me when you got out of a previous relationship, I remember you saying, that's fine. I just don't need that. Like, I choose to love myself. Like, you were just like, whatever, he's going to do whatever. I choose to be worthy of love. Like, you made the choice, right? And then I remember saying, yeah, something about your trip and you come back, just wait. And then you manifested it, right? So like, you made a choice to be like, nope, not choosing that because that doesn't feel good, but I am choosing self-worth. I am choosing a partner that loves me for all that I am. And it like almost makes me cry because it was so genuine and true. And then the universe, tune-up hour again, attuned it, let's go, here you go. So again, living example of intuition, Alyssa Williamson.
And that's another thing too that comes up is it can be frustrating when you're like, I'm in alignment, I'm working out, I'm visualizing, I'm in high vibration. Why isn't it happening yet? And the big lesson from that is trusting divine timing and just trusting it's coming. Your present moment isn't like the fact. It's just where you are to learn a lesson. Because it can be frustrating. You're like, why am I not manifesting faster? I know that's probably been my biggest frustration, and I'm sure it's most people's, is like, I know what I'm supposed to be doing, but it's not here yet. Why is that? And it's having a detachment from the present moment, and that you're like, you know what? This is happening for me. This is part of my journey to get to my end result, but just knowing that end result is coming for you and that it is there. And it's not a wanting, it's just you desire it. This is what's happening. And the universe is just aligning it together in the perfect time for you.
It's so true. And that's the other thing I remember you saying. You were like, I just trust the universe. You're like, I just trust. And I was like, how can you trust? Like, as your friend, I was like behind the scenes, like, how is she still trusting? But like, you're doing it. But that was your mantra. Like, trust the universe, trust the universe, trust the universe. It was amazing.
And there's things I do get frustrated on. I'm like, why isn't this happening sooner? Like, I'm doing great. Like, and then I just have to stop and be like, yep, it's happening. Like, I trust that it's coming. I know that it's in my future. I know it's for me, but I'm just learning for whatever's happening in the present.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you take it as a learning. There's something in NLP, like, in the course, that's something like, there's no mistakes, there's only feedback, there's no failure, there's only feedback. So like whatever it is you're learning, right? And that's something I try to remind myself. I guess the other thing that's coming is, how can you help our listeners grow into their dreams right now? Like, you've shared your living example, like, how can they really step in, or we, because we're all in this together, step into more of our dreams of like the courage, the faith, like, I guess I want to say, how can we trust the universe more and our own intuition to kind of be like one and the same, and to take that journey courageously and with so much faith? Yeah, I'm like, go for it. Like, that's just what's kind of coming through, right? To like really walk this path together.
And that's where I now, like, looking back, I can see all the things that I've done, and I'm like, I had to experience that so that I could help other people through that too. And that was part of the lesson, was so that I can share what I've learned with others. So a lot of what I work on, because I help business owners specifically, because I love marketing and psychology, but I love helping the person build their own best life. And so it's mindset. It comes down to mindset and beliefs. And that's why I love to do a lot of belief work with clients. And because that's what holds you back. It's layers, it's a digging process. And maybe you've done some work, or maybe you're just starting on that journey. But there's always, like, it's a process of growth. You get to a different level, and then there's a new challenge, and then you got to go overcome that level, and then there's a different challenge. So as you're growing, like, that's how you know you're growing. If everything feels fine, it's just a plateau, like, maybe you're happy there, but really that's not growth. There should be like a slight incline, and there will be challenges to overcome. And so I love working with, like, the deep, integrating your mind and your body together in those beliefs, so that it's help raising your vibration, creating that alignment, and then getting very clear on your goals and how you can get there and what you should be doing regularly to get there. Because that's a lot of where we get lost in the daily life, is fighting fires rather than the bigger picture. And so I work with clients to help just create that clarity and create that path so that they get to where they want to be going. And that all these distractions that life brings up and other people's agendas bring up don't pull them off of their true path. And a whole big piece of it is trusting your intuition, like just creating that life of, it's ease. And it sounds so simple, but it is so amazing when you get there
Yeah.
and you're like, I have to do, like, that's why I'm like, I just have to help other people with this too. That's what I love about what we do is we just help people create their best life. And that's what I talk about is just empowering people to live their dreams because everyone's dream is different, but I'm just there to help make it happen faster.
And make it happen.
Yeah.
Like we all need each other. Like I just feel like I know there is no way I would be where I'm at today if it wasn't for other people helping me, nudging me along the way.
Yeah.
Kira is one of them. You're one of them. I mean, my mom, like a lot of people. I could go on a list. So I feel like we all need each other.
And it's all the way through my business. I've always had coaches because I've always been self-employed. I started my business in college, before college, and then really launched it after college. But I've never really had that community or support that sometimes you get that mentorship as you're growing up in a company. So I've always worked with coaches because I just knew, and it was different types of coaches along the way because every time you sort of solidify this area and then something else comes up and you're like, okay, I need to work on that. And then there was the process where, I like started just coaching myself, I guess. So again, intuitively found my path.
Totally. Yeah, no, you're doing it. So I just realized it's 9:45 and I gave everybody the call-in number to call in. I am still learning this. So I'm just a little bit nervous about trying it. So Alyssa, if you want to just keep talking, I might try to look at it at the back end. We just really had a hard time. I've had a hard time getting it up and running to be able to do it.
I just know it'll work. So we'll get someone through.
I mean, it's just kind of like, I don't know, we'll see. It's just the sound system on my computer, but I'm talking with Bria in a bit. But yeah, if you just want to keep, sharing about everything you want, go for it.
Yeah. Well, I guess part of my story I'll share is a little bit is, I started my business in college. I started getting clients, my first business. And then I moved. I went to college in New Zealand. So I worked there for a year, 8 months or something, and then came back to California and had to start a business all over again, or first started looking for a job and started a business all over again. But again, it felt right. All I needed was a computer. I was getting referrals and clients without even really asking for it. I was still trying to find a job. And then one day I was like, why am I looking for a job when I've got all these clients? And it wasn't enough to go full time. And I guess that's why it hadn't occurred to me. And then I just looked around and I was like, I've got the work to get me started. Why am I wasting my time on job interviews?
Yeah.
And from there, I started again tracking, like paying attention to clients and hours. And in my first year, I was probably maybe working 16 hours a week. When I first started January, I officially launched my business January of 2009. And by the end of the year, I was over full-time. By a year and a half, I was working 80-hour weeks and making $10,000 a month and just like killing myself. And that's when I realized, okay, my goal was to make money, but I wasn't focused on my lifestyle. And so I was working way too much. I put way too much emphasis on working and making money, which was great, but not. This was my learning process where I learned, okay, I need to focus on the lifestyle I want to have. And the money will come with that, not just work, because then I just became a workaholic. But I have a very good work ethic. So I enjoyed it too. I love my work. And so I had to learn that balance too. And that's what I find is that a lot of successful business owners, you lose that balance and soon you're working all the time, or you've had levels of success. That's what I find with a lot of my clients is you've had periods of great success in your business, but now something's blocking you. And that's, again, you've built up so far that you've met another challenge and something new is blocking you. And that's where, like, it's discovering what's this new challenge, what's this new learning process, and how to create your business so it creates your dream life, not that it runs your life. So that's what I'm very passionate about, is helping helping business owners, especially I love working with women just because it's a very masculine world. And
Yeah.
so embracing our feminine power and energy
Mm.
in a way that the world can accept, not being like, oh, I'm a woman, accept me as I am, but like just learning how to embrace our powers and
Mhm.
work in a masculine world.
Mhm.
And so those are, yeah, a couple of different things I love to especially focus on is
Mm.
building new business owners, building their business up and learning how to think like a business owner. But then the
Mhm.
successful business owners who maybe you're stuck now, something's happened, life has changed, COVID has changed the environment of your business. And so you're meeting a new challenge and how to get through that to get back to that level of success or to create a new level of success.
That's beautiful. And, I love what you share. I feel like there is a balance happening of more feminine energy coming in right now, of like being held and supported in that. And even the masculine energy supporting the feminine. And it's actually working together when we come from our heart space. But what I wanted to share about what you said is it's fulfillment and balance, right? So it's like you can work all these hours, make all this money, but it's feeling good, having the balance and the fulfillment, right? Like I remember somebody asked me one time, like, how would you know you're successful? And I'm like, that I'm reaching a million people, that I love people, right? So it's like money is maybe a byproduct and something we need, but what does success mean to you? What does fulfillment mean to you? Like for me, it is like serving as many people as I can. What is it for you? It may not be that for you, and that's okay. But whatever it is, bring that into your heart because that's the essence of what you want, right? Like you learned, I can work really hard and make all this money. And what is the essence of what I want? Well, as you dove deeper, it was relationship, connection, friendship, right? Feeling at home. So to really feel into the essence of your dream and follow your intuition to experience the feeling tone of that and the joy of living it, like that's the fun and like the process and the manifestation of it. So,
And when you feel your dream, like it just, that's why I do it in the morning. And I just get so excited to start the
yeah,
day.
yeah,
It's part of my morning routine because I'm like, I want to wake up every day excited. And even if I
yeah,
don't always wake up excited straight away, I start the day excited because I'm like, this is what I get to create. This
yeah.
is the people, these are the clients I'm holding space for that I get to work with. These
Mhm.
are the clients I am working with today. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I can't wait to wait. I always wake up early because I'm so excited. So you guys, I'm really sorry, but my browser won't even support the call board right now. So I do have a meeting with Bria. It's driving me nuts. I'll try one more time, but we only have a few more minutes left. So what I want to offer up, is it okay to give people your email, Alyssa?
Yeah.
Throat's locking up. My challenge is technology. So let's send a prayer that Abby and Bria figure out the technology today. But yeah, so you can email us your questions. So Abby, ABBY at lifeforceconnection.com or hello@alyssawilliamson.com. And just send us your questions and we'll respond to you via email and get back with you. I'll hop on one more time and see if I can do it. I think it's just on the back end. Um, it literally says your browser doesn't support this. So
What
anyways,
browser are you using?
oh gosh, it's a long story. I don't even know. Firefox.
So yeah, my tech
But
background
yeah,
jumps in. I was like,
geez. So anyways, we have like 3 more minutes left, sister. So is there anything else you want to add to all of that?
just just acknowledging that there's a lot of change, there's a lot of fear in the world at the moment. There's always something going on, but with a pandemic, there's no immediate action and reaction. That's just a long, ongoing, unknown period. And just
Mm.
remember to take care of yourself. You can't help others from an empty cup. So taking time, even if it's getting up a little bit earlier in the morning, if you've got kids or family, and just I know some people it sounds horrible. Maybe it's at the end of the day if you're a night owl. Just find a time that you can take for yourself. Take 5-10 minutes. Just something that fills you joy. Reading a book, like something that feels like luxury.
Yeah.
Luxuries are good things to have. If that's meditating and feel grounded, whatever feels good to you that day, just say, this is my time, 10 minutes or whatever I'm going to do for a walk. Like find something to just feed yourself and feed your soul and that happipiness. And because you can raise others up with your energy too. And so if you find there's a lot of negativity, notice what it is and see what you can do to mitigate that too. So care of yourself.
I love that.
Feed yourself.
Love yourself, feed your soul, fill yourself up, follow your joy, be who you are, which is love, right? And so that does ripple, like I think about a wake. It's like it that ripples out, right? You put a rock in the middle of a lake or something, it ripples. So your love is rippling, your energy, your essence is, and it's attracting just beautiful things to you. So I believe in the power of your intuition and your dreams and your ability to live them now. So with so much support, I know that I can say this for both Alyssa and I, we just are here to support you. So grateful for you being part of our journey. And with that, is there anything else you want to say before we log off, Alyssa?
I was just thinking, I'm following my Instagram. You can go to my website, alyssawilliamson.com, and it's at the bottom of the page. I may be changing the name, so I won't share that link, but go to alyssawilliamson.com, ALYSSA, Williamson, WILLIAMSON. And I just post like information tidbits, but just what's going on in my life too. I like to share the real. So I share my problems and challenges. But it's just, I don't know. I find Instagram is just a fun way to just see some positivity and just get a little bit of insight too. So go follow me there.
I know Instagram is like the new thing. Like I have a marketing team just doing Instagram. I'm like, what is this Instagram thing? So it works. So follow her. It's so fun. Like people are on it, and it's just fun. So yeah, absolutely. I need to make sure I'm following you. So all right, everyone. Well, thank you so much for tuning in with us today. And we will see you next week at 9 a.m. Pacific. Big love. Bye.